What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Sit Down Saturday. And today we're going to go over most anticipated figures. And then next week, I think we're going to do Earthrise. And then hopefully the week after that, we can do the Toy World conversation that I've been wanting to have. So we'll see how it goes, right? What is it? The God laughs at the best made plans. Isn't that how? Or you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. All of those things kind of seem to apply here, at least to me. First and foremost, Happy New Year. Hope you guys are having a good start. We all could use a good start, obviously. It's been a rough one. Hope you brought it in with a responsible number of friends and family. Hope you're in good spirits. Hope you're in a good place, etc., etc. Today we're going to do the Transformer figures I want. We did this last year and I want to kind of continue to do this every top of the year. It's interesting to compare. We're going to talk about 2018's list, which is the first one I did, and then 2020's list, and then now 2021. We're going to make a couple changes to the way we do it. I'll talk about that when we get there. Little bit of house cleaning. A lot of people put on their capes, and I mean this respectfully, I get it, for Super 7. And look, there's a Super 7 conversation that's been happening a bit on Nerve Rage, and I'm going to get into it heavy one day, but like them, NECA, there's a few companies where I just feel like they get such a pass without an acknowledgement of the lack of growth. I love Super 7 sculpts, but the Super 7 approach, the Four Horsemen approach, is not keeping up with the times. But we'll get there. Anyway, I get it. I understand why people love it, because their sculpts are dead on, and ultimately at the end of the day, sculpt matters pretty much the most. Sculpt and then paint. And they do both fairly well. So I get it. I'm saying this as a person who enjoys their work as well. The Transformers list just went up today, so I'm not sure how it played out. It seemed that most people kind of got where I was coming from with it, which is always surprising. But great news. Hope it wasn't too many lists, but I kind of like doing it at the end of the year. Just wrapping everything up, put a pin in it, let's move on to the next. Real quick, Mandalorian Season 2. I didn't even go into the comments because I expected them to not be necessarily what I was looking for that day. And it came out on Christmas, right? So that wasn't how I was going to spend my Christmas. But I did accidentally stumble across a few, and I saw some people calling my criticisms harsh. Look, to me, a C is not harsh. To me, a C is fair. Even if you think the criticisms are unfair, they won't be harsh. I think the show is average. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. I do. I just think it's average. I'm currently watching The Undoing. That's a great show. That's what a great show looks like so far. Moving on. Last week's DX9. I think I was actually contacted by DX9, and they just said thank you. Look, I wish them the best. There was one guy in the comments who said there's no new information here. I got news for you that's not entirely true. And that might not be new to you, but it was new to a lot of people. There's a lot of connections being made to designers in that video that I've never spoken about before. And I'm not saying you're a bozo, but I'm saying you got bozo tendencies. I think that you've had pretty thoughtful comments in the past. However, I'm not putting up with it in 2021. I'm 40 years old. I'm turning a new leaf. I'm getting people out of here. Nobody's forcing you to be here. Nobody's forcing you to watch this. You made a decision to watch it. You don't like it, stop watching. I'm doing this for the people that appreciate it, and I'm doing it for myself. And real quick, so we can get this out of the way and just move on, there's been another guy that's been leaving comments all over my channel saying, talk about the Fans Toys not producing figures, you will talk about it, or are you in their pocket, or if you don't talk about it, I have 2 different YouTube accounts, I'm going to give you a thumbs down on every video. First of all, I'm not sure who you think you're talking to. I don't care about thumbs up and thumbs down. I never tell you guys, give the video a like, a thumbs up, and I never say that. I don't care. Secondly, will somebody tell this guy I've done 2 videos on Fans Toys rumors and speculations regarding this stuff, plus a dummies video on it. 3 videos on the topic. I'm not saying you're a bozo. I'm saying you got bozo tendencies. Now let's get that last bit of negativity out and start 2021 fresh, both for you and me. So let's move into this discussion. And the reason why I want to have it, I was looking at the other ones, right? And they're fairly similar, which kind of means that nothing new has happened in 2 years on a dream level, with few exceptions, of course. So let's do a quick recap of 2018. Now, I was a bit bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, perhaps, and was looking for the Omnibots. I'm getting them out of here. I was also considering the Deluxe Insecticons. I'm getting them out of here also. But Runabout and Runamuck came in at number 8, and the Target Masters came in at number 7. I also had some IDW offerings on here, Whirl and DJD. The DJD were Masterpiece, but how beautifully naive I was back then to think that we were going to be getting everything. That the world was, everything was just at our fingertips. We're in DEF CON 3 now. I'm getting IDW out of here. Not that I don't enjoy it, not that I don't love it, it's just not what I need to finish my collection. I also had a Skylinks on the list, and I had it at number 5, which meant that I was probably pretty confident that the other other stuff was coming. Number 4, I had the Autobot and Decepticon clones, and then I had combiners for number 2. Number 3 was Masterpiece DJD, and my number 1 choice was an Astro Train, and we can scratch him from the list. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. Done and done. Of the combiners that I wanted, all of them I still want. It's just interesting. Now, moving on directly to last year's list. Number 10, I had the Target Masters. And let me be clear, this was just stuff I wanted announced, not stuff to actually come out. I just wanted it announced, and I wanted it announced by a company that I believed would actually make it. So there's 2 parts to that. Some company could come out tomorrow called Not Gonna Ever Make This Toys and release a picture. I'm gonna take them at their face value and say they're not gonna ever make this. Number 10 is Target Masters. Make Toys still did not release their Target Masters or reveal anymore, I believe. Number 9 was Broadside. Nope. He's out of here on my list. Love to have one, but casualty of war at this point. 8 is Sandstorm. I still would like to have a nice representation of Sandstorm. He plays a major part in Season 3. Number 7 is Highbrow and Brainstorm. Now, we did get word from Make Toys this past year that they were back to some extent. We did get the Jazz, which I am going to look at here shortly, and we got a Seeker, I think the Conehead Dirge. But I haven't seen anything to make me think that the Headmasters are actually coming, unfortunately, because I would love for them to do not only the Headmasters, but the Target Masters, but we'll get there. Then was Runabout and Runamuck. That seems to be a trend. I'm still not sure why nobody's made them, especially with it's a buy one, get one, basically, right, in terms of mold use. Skylinks was number 4. I was still optimistic then, even just a year ago. Computron was number 3. Abominus was number 2. My number 1 choice, which I got to be grateful for, was my number 1 choice was announced by 2 companies, X-Transbots and MMC, and that was the Defensor. And I do believe that they're probably both coming, if that trailer doesn't bankrupt X-Transbots. So I want to move in officially to this list for this year. And this year I'm making a couple of changes. 1 is the figures that I would like to be announced. 2, by companies that I feel like will actually produce them. And 3, I'm also going to include characters that have already been announced that I don't think anybody is really actually going to produce. Let's get started. Number 10 is Skylinks. He's gone way down the list because he's such a huge character, and when I mean huge, I mean literally huge, that the undertaking is just going to be too much. And you know what I'm also going to include this go around is whether or not I'm okay if they don't make it. And I think this is one of the characters I'm okay with cutting my losses on. I'd love to have one. I'm not sure that I need one. I mean, we don't need any of this, right? Food, shelter, clothing, that's what we need. But you get what I'm saying. Number 9 is Sandstorm this year. Once again, I really would like to have him. He does play a huge role. I don't know if looking at my collection now, if it suffers without him. Love to have him. If anybody makes him that's worth a penny, I'm gonna buy it. I'm even thinking about picking up the old Unique Toys one, which I'm not crazy about, just to fill the spot because of the times we're in. And I'd love to see Ocular Max tackle it. I think they do a good job with their triple changers. Next is the clones. Look, I know they're not important characters, I get it, but I'm thinking differently these days in terms of my collection, and one of the things I'm thinking about is the display. And smaller characters are hard to come by as you get into seasons 3 and 4. In fact, for the Decepticons, you're pretty much limited to Runabout, Runamuck, and the clones. So I'm thinking about display dynamics, and a couple smaller figures would actually do a number for my displays. So I would like to have a set of Autobot and Decepticon clones, and I'd really be okay if anybody tackled them aside from Fans Toys. I wish Fans Toys would not spend their time on that tier of character. I loved him as a kid. I'm not sure why. I think that the Puma or Wolf or Jag, whatever that thing was, that was the cat dog thing from the Decepticon side, I think I loved that. I think in a way that was the Ravage I always wanted. Like it had a lot of fun to it. I think the way the head moved and on the neck flap and stuff. I don't know what it was, but I loved it and I still want it, and I think it would do wonders for a display in terms of height variance. Number 7, the Target Masters. I would love for Make Toys to do them. I just don't have any inkling that they're actually going to do them. And I want both the Autobot and the Decepticon ones. Like, it's a very niche thing. I'm sure they didn't make a ton of money with it, so I get why they don't want to continue doing it. But like on some levels, I'm like, man, if Fans Hobby can produce this stuff over here and has a market for it, why can't we get these Target Masters? I don't know. It's very interesting. It's very interesting for me to kind of ponder and think about, but I would love for them to conclude the Target Masters. Speaking of things I'd love to see is number 6, Runabout and Runamuck, of course. And I'll tell you exactly who I want to do them this year. It's X-Transbots. I think that X-Transbots has shown that they can do a car, and they can do a car quite well. This is a small car. It would be very similar to what they did with their Stunticons. I think that they're the company to do it. It wouldn't take any time away from companies like MMC or Fans Toys, and they would do a great job. Number 5, Highbrow and Brainstorm. And I'd like to see them from Make Toys, but I don't think they're going to do them. And I'm losing a little bit of faith and hope each day, but that's what I want. And they have to make the list because I don't think it's happening. I have no inclination that it's going to happen other than the fact that they said that they're going to do everything that they announced. However, we haven't seen anything in regards to it. Finishing off the Headmasters would be a nice thing, and we're going to circle back to that a bit later. Number 4, I'm still wanting a Computron. I still don't know if we're ever going to get one. I'd like to see Zeta do it, but instead they decided to go with the train set, which I don't think is the right move, but time will tell. I think Zeta may have made a number of mistakes this year. Time will tell on all of that as well, and that's probably going to be a future sit-down Saturday. Or maybe Dummies can tackle that. But I'd love to have a nice, stable, MP size and scaled Computron, and I don't think that many companies are getting into it, so it would probably be a safe place to make a bot. Number 3, Skull Cruncher from Fans Toys. I don't think it's happening. No inside information to suggest it's not happening. It's just been an awfully long time. To put it in perspective, Make Toys Headmasters were still super relevant at the time that it was announced. Now we're not even sure if Make Toys is a thing anymore, really, and we still haven't gotten any further updates on this Skull Cruncher. We're one bot away from finishing the Headmasters from that season in regards to Decepticons. I really would like to see them finish it. My number 2 choice is Abominus. I would love for Zeta to do it for combined mode. I don't care who does it for robot mode because everybody does a decent enough job. But Zeta's the one I would like to see do Abominus, and the idea of getting an Abominus, I'll be honest, seems less and less believable these days. But since it's the last completely new reveal on my list, and last year was Defensor, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe I'm subconsciously controlling the universe. Fingers crossed, at least for me. My number 1 choice has been announced. However, I'm starting to think that it's not happening as well, mainly due to decisions that they've made through the year, and that's the Zeta Predaking. I really want that thing. I'm in on the Kang toys. However, I have doubts that the Kang toys is going to be successful as a combiner. While I'm on the topic, I'd love to see what that combiner even looks like. So that's something else I'd like to see before I pay for a 5th bot, or 4th bot rather. And that's my list for this year. But I'll tell you, I'd be a happy collector and very happy with my current state in MP if they just gave me the combiners, the Headmasters, and the Target Masters. And you wouldn't hear a complaint or a peep out of me. I'd be able to walk away with no problem. Here's hoping. They showed some of that new Superion combiner. Looks pretty intricate. Not sure if it's what I got going on aesthetically, and I have a good Superion, but looks intricate. As far as stuff that has been announced that I'd love to see come out, I'll tell you top of my list is the MMC tapes. And I'd love to see Fans Toys finish off their 2 combiners, and then I'd love to see that Defensor start coming out this year. So look, that's going to do it for this week. I think it's just good to kind of check the temperature of like the wants and needs every year. So we'll do it first of the year, or first Saturday of the year every year. It's been a rough year, right? No cons, no get-togethers, no exchange of hands and hugs, etc. A lot of people have taken a lot of losses this year, financially, job-wise, loss of life, etc., etc. So, take a moment and be grateful that you're here, that you're here in 2021. Appreciate your friends, appreciate your family. Let's get off on a good foot. Let's carpe diem, you know what I mean? I'll be back next week with some Earthrise stuff unless something earth-shattering comes out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.